What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay up to date with Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and turn the notification bell on if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. If you haven't been watching the channel, if you don't know, the last 10 days I've been putting out content on the top 10 greatest Ravens of all time, counting down from 10 to 1. This video is about number 1, but in this list, it isn't just players, it is including anybody associated with the Baltimore Ravens franchise. And so this is the finale. So I need to know your thoughts and opinions on the full list. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your list is. Let me know what was wrong with my list, all of that type of thing. I want to see all the feedback, as much feedback as possible. I should be back home by the time this is out. I did this series because I was going to be on vacation and I wanted to have context. I'm not going to be able to record on vacation. So it was all recorded in one day. Check out the playlist to see all the videos. But at number 1 of the greatest Ravens of all time, it's Trace McSorley. Just kidding. It's obviously Ray Lewis. I don't think there's an argument that it's not Ray Lewis. If you're watching this video, like very curious, like, oh, I wonder who the greatest Raven is. It's Ray Lewis. Like, there's not even much that I have to say about him. I mean, in my opinion, I would say probably the majority of football fans would say that Ray Lewis is the best linebacker of all time, or at least middle linebacker of all time. LT is pretty tough to be better than. But other than LT, he's the best linebacker of all time. He's definitely the best middle linebacker of all time. And he was an absolute force of nature for the Ravens. When Ray Lewis retired, they called him the original Raven. Not quite correct. Jonathan Ogden's the original Raven, but Ray Lewis was the second ever pick by the Baltimore Ravens. And he came in, like, no matter how good you thought he was going to be, he was better than how good you thought he could be. He set the culture. He created that Ravens defense. His motivation, his drive, his leadership is still seen in the Ravens organization today because you come to Baltimore and you want to be like Ray Lewis, right? Patrick Queen gets drafted, and people were like, oh, could he be the next Ray Lewis? And he was like, it's an honor. To have the opportunity to try and play the same position that Ray Lewis did in the same organization, it is an honor. And not just the way that he played the position, but the way he led the team. We talk about it, the Ravens today, who's their vocal leader? They don't really have one. They kind of just go out there, and John Harbaugh kind of tries to lead them vocally, but they have like lead by example guys like Lamar. And, it's okay to be a lead by example guy. But if you can get a guy like Ray Lewis, the greatest motivational speaker in the history of sports, not just the NFL, in the history of sports, there is not, you hear Ray Lewis speak, it's up there with guys like Optimus Prime. You're ready to run through a brick wall if you hear Ray Lewis talk about anything. He is going to get you motivated. He's going to get you to want to win. If you've seen the show, I think it's called Young Rock. I haven't seen the show, but I know Ray Lewis is in it, or an actor portraying Ray Lewis is in it. And they talk about how The Rock, who's one of the most dedicated, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, one of the most dedicated, hardworking people on the planet, goes to the University of Miami, as a defensive lineman, and he goes in there to go work out, and he shows up, and Ray Lewis is already there. Freshman Ray Lewis is already there. And Dwayne, The Rock is just like, whoa, this freshman's like already what? Like, what? He's working harder than me? Like that's when like, holy cow, this guy has a hard work ethic. When somebody like Dwayne The Rock Johnson is like, yeah, I got there. And then this freshman on this first day was already there before me, already lifting. And it's like that's the type of guy that Ray Lewis was. When somebody like The Rock has that high of praise of your work ethic, that there isn't a higher, who works harder than The Rock? like the list is pretty darn small of people that work harder than The Rock. But Ray Lewis was one of those guys. And then you hear him speak, and the way that he talked to that team after they lost, after the Billy Cundiff miss. I'm sorry to bring that up in this video, but that's an essential part of Ray Lewis's kind of story, was the way that he handled that. He knew that he was the leader. And rather than being upset and, going in, kind of sitting in your chair all alone. He got everybody up and he was like, all right, guys, this sucks, but it's not over. We can go out and we're gonna win it next time. It's part of God's plan. We're gonna win. It wasn't this year, wasn't meant to be, but it's gonna happen. And you need a guy like that. And now he was the best ever at it, but you need a guy like that. And he set that level of culture, that level of hard work and dedication as the second pick by the Ravens. He was on the original team. And he was able to create a culture that's going to last forever because Ravens football is hard-nosed, heavy-hitting, and hard-working. What were the T-shirts that the Ravens were wearing Lamar's MVP season? Nobody cares, work harder. It's the Ravens way. Why? Because Ray Lewis made it the Ravens way. Ray Lewis is the greatest Raven of all time. I don't think you can argue it. If somebody argues it in the comments, go for it. I want to see the argument. I didn't even bring up stats. I didn't bring up, defense player of the year. I didn't bring up the Super Bowl dominance, the greatest defense of all time. I didn't even have to bring that up because everybody knows. He's the best. He's the greatest. And he's the one that started it all. Thank you, everybody, for watching, not just this video, but the entire series. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know your final opinions. Let me know if I should do other top 10s, maybe like current Ravens or like Ravens plays, things like that. I don't know. If you guys like this kind of thing, let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe for daily Ravens content. Subscribe for content like this. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I will see all of you again tomorrow, except I'm recording this in the past, like 10 days ago. So for me, it'll be like almost 2 weeks. For you, it'll be like nothing. But see you all again tomorrow.